In this video, we're looking at the comparative and the superlative with the pattern af'al. The comparative in Arabic is expressed using a particular noun pattern. This is the af'al pattern, and it looks like the pattern for the past tense of verbal form 4, af'ala yuf'ilu. It is used with min to compare one thing to another. Now, while it looks like form 4 of the 10 verbal forms, it's actually a noun pattern and doesn't have any relation to the 10 forms. Here we have an English sentence to express what the comparative is in English. His university is larger than my university. Here we're comparing two things. جامعته أكبر من جامعتي. Here you see akbar is on the af'al pattern. And this comparative, because it's a comparative, a strict comparative between two things, we have here min. Now the superlative is also something that uses af'al as its pattern. Arabic has one form for both the comparative and the superlative. That is the af'al pattern. What differentiates the two is how they're used in the sentence. The superlative is generally used in an indefinite idafa structure, and the comparative is used with the preposition min. However, the superlative can also be used in a definite idafa, and the comparative does not necessarily have to use min, and we'll see how that plays out. Here we have the largest university in America is the University of Central Florida in terms of undergraduate students enrolled. Here we use akbar as af'al, or the af'al pattern, for the superlative. Here we're not comparing two things, rather we are talking about that which is the largest or the biggest at the top. أكبر جامعة في أمريكا هو جامعة Central Florida. Let's look at some more at the af'al pattern. Here we have a phrase, أكبر بلد. Akbar here is on the af'al pattern, and baladin is a noun in the majrur case. Here akbar is ism tafdil, our comparative, superlative, and we have here the second term of the idafa, baladin, with the kasra tanween. Akbaru baladin means the largest country. Notice in Arabic we have an indefinite idafa here, and we don't have alif lam. However, in English we have the definite article the. So that's something you have to be aware of. Here's another example. Ahsanu kitabin. Ahsan is on the af'al pattern, and then kitabin is the second term of the idafa. Here we have an indefinite idafa, our ism tafdil, and the second term of idafa here. This means, ahsanu kitabin means the best book. Again, this is an indefinite idafa, but there's no definite article in Arabic. Now, there's another way we can use the superlative in an idafa structure that has the plural rather than the singular, as we saw in the previous two examples. Here, afdalul hiwayat is with afdal being the ism tafdil on the af'al pattern, and then we have al-hiwayat here is second term of idafa, but al-hiwayat is plural now and definite, whereas in the previous two examples the second term of idafa was singular and indefinite. So what's the difference? Afdalul hiwayat means the best of hobbies. We have the best hobby and the best of hobbies. There's a subtle difference between these two phrases. The best hobby is the best overall, whereas afdalul hiwayat, the best of hobbies, means the best from a restricted group of hobbies. Here we have the comparative. We're going back to the comparative, and we can put the ahsan or the af'al pattern or coming after the noun as an adjective to indicate the comparative. So here we can say, here is our af'al, ism tafdil on the af'al pattern, and it functions here as an adjective coming after the noun kitabun. هذا kitabun ahsan. What does that mean? هذا kitabun ahsan. This is a better book. زميلي أطول مني. So this is similar to the example we saw at the very beginning, using min. زميلي here means my colleague. أطول is on the أفعل pattern, meaning taller. That's our ism tafdil. And together, أطول من means taller than. My colleague is taller than I. So for the comparative, we can place the af'al adjective after the noun, and it modifies the noun, and it is a comparative. Whereas here, we use min, which is a comparative between two different things. Here we have another use of the comparative on the af'al pattern. كنت متأخرا للموعد لكن صديقي كان متأخرا أكثر. There are some nouns that don't lend themselves to forming the af'al pattern. So what do we do? If it doesn't lend itself to following the af'al pattern, then we can use the adjective and then modify it with akthar. So here, I was late to the appointment, however, my friend was later than I. Ism tafdil in akthar, and then here we can say was more late. كنت متأخرا للموعد لكن صديقي كان متأخرا أكثر. I was late to the appointment, but my friend was more late. So متأخر doesn't lend itself to the af'al pattern. We can't put متأخر into the af'al pattern. So we simply use the adjective here and we tag on أكثر, meaning more, to it in order to express the comparative. So here are some rules to remember. Comparatives in Arabic are expressed using the af'al pattern. Explicit comparisons use the preposition min. Otherwise, the comparative follows the noun as an adjective. Superlatives use the same pattern, but often come in an indefinite idafa structure. If the noun following the superlative is plural, then it is expressed in a definite idafa structure. And adjectives that don't lend themselves to the af'al pattern can use the adjective plus akthar. مع السلامة.